My name is Jeff Morgan. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I've been talking about the case of Cody Taylor and his desire to sue Erica Duckworth. And the reality is that Erica Duckworth tried to sue him, tried to claim that he was defaming her, when all he was doing was speaking the truth. He's allowed to speak the truth. Truth is the defense against defamation. But she didn't like what he was saying. Didn't like the interview that I posted between myself and Mr. Taylor because it reflected poorly upon her. The reality is, from what I can see, is that had her practice has not been bad, the interview never would have taken place. Had she not been engaged in egregious misconduct, the misconduct would not have been reported. So, Ms. Duckworth, we are continuing to talk about this case that Mr. Taylor has against you. And this is the fourth sworn affidavit. This one is by George E. Saldana, State of Texas, County of Bear. Before me, the undersigned authority on this day personally appeared, the undersigned affiant, who being by me duly sworn on oath stated, I, George E. Saldana, am 18 years of age or older, of sound mind and body to make this affidavit, and all the statements are within my personal knowledge. Mr. Saldana continues, I am a retired firefighter with the City of Houston Fire Department in Texas. I have 3 children, and I have a lot of experience in Texas family, or as I prefer to call them, the anti-family courts, and currently am representing myself in court. I currently help parents who are unable to access their children due to systemic failures in our family court system. Perjury and aggravated perjury are often dismissed in family court by officers of the court, unethical mental professionals. This affidavit is made in support of Cody Taylor. Mr. Saldana continues, I have had to dig into the roots of parental rights and have worked with state representatives and state senators to pass bills that affect parent and child relationship. And again, I think this is important that each one of us here have been working with our legislators to try to effect political change. That's why earlier in my affidavit, I said that Mr. Taylor should be afforded all the protections given by anti-SLAPP laws, laws that would try to prevent him from participating in the political discussion, the public discussion regarding laws that are affecting us. There are lawsuits that used to be filed against people that would silence them. Anti-SLAPP says that when people are filing lawsuits to silence you, you have protections. The anti-SLAPP were against these types of strategic lawsuits against public participation. But this is what attorneys have done, this is what others have done in the past, and I believe that Mr. Taylor should be afforded these protections. But as Mr. Saldana says here, he's worked with legislators and senators as well. He's worked with DAs. I've been with him at times. I've been with him when he's testified. I've been on calls with him. Mr. Saldana is an effective advocate with these politicians and these other professionals. I personally met Cody Taylor at these legislative functions at the Texas Capitol, where we were offered to give our testimony with other concerned parents about issues that pertain to the public's concerns. For those who may be unfamiliar with the legislative process, the public is allowed to petition their government by way of in-person testimony. When signing up for testimony, we are required to sign a government document prescribed by law. The document is our First Amendment right to voice our public interest concern to our legislature without fear of retaliation, such as Cody Taylor is experiencing right now. I have personally seen Cody Taylor speak on topics that are considered taboo and uncomfortable for people to comprehend. All Mr. Taylor's testimonies to the legislature have been communicated within the bounds of the laws and rules set by our Texas legislature and Texas Constitution. I have been able to identify my own patterns with mental health professionals violating parental rights by unethical reporting. In order for a true diagnosis to be concluded, a true forensic baseline must be established without outside influences. Mr. Taylor and others should be treated in the same in regards to reporting unethical behavior. Mr. Taylor has tried to report in good faith while advocating change in his Texas legislature in the public's interest, and others under BHEC, the Behavioral Health Executive Committee jurisdiction, is trying to discredit his valiant efforts by bringing lawsuits to silence Mr. Taylor. Mr. Taylor is practicing a civil duty to petition his legislature as the United States and the Texas Constitutions allow, and his free speech shall not be infringed on, especially when giving testimony to his state legislature. Mr. Taylor has great talking points that were brought up, and he was asked to expound on those points to the legislature. Mr. Taylor should be awarded for asking the legislature to hold the mental health agency and mental health professionals to the highest standards based on the interest of the public. If the BHEC, Behavioral Health Executive Council, is going to oversee the mental health practitioners, it must keep the public's confidence when reporting. Failing to uphold codes and rules that govern the mental health professionals can ultimately hurt the child they have been tasked with trying to help. Mr. Taylor is trying to help children by ensuring Texas state agencies are held to the highest standards. In conclusion, BHEC is governed by the Texas Government Code, and mental health professionals are governed by the Texas Occupation Code. BHEC and the mental health professionals use the law as a sword and shield for protection, while the public is retaliated against for asking the legislature to implement new laws pertaining to oversight. It's wrong to retaliate or allow mental health professionals to bring a civil suit to a member of the public. Mr. Taylor has an absolute protected right to petition his government. All of his concerns relate to the public's interests, and I thank Mr. Taylor for bringing this issue forward, educating me, the legislature, and mental health professionals. And in addition, Mr. Saldana did talk about the Texas Behavioral Health Committee Council, new amended and repealed rules, 881.10, and everything like that. But he continues further and he says, I, amongst others, I will stand side by side with Mr. Taylor and demand accountability and transparency from BHEC and the mental health professionals. We will continue to advocate for the highest standards of our state agencies. Mr. Taylor has educated many, including myself, and if given a chance, I think BHEC and other mental health officials should allow him to speak his opinion without fear of being retaliated against. Many can learn from him. We even had a legislator down at the Texas Juvenile Justice and Family Issues Committee, David Cook. He owns a law firm, deals with family law issues. He was impressed by Mr. Taylor's knowledge of the issues. If he could be impressed, certainly the people here should be listening to him to find out what it is that Mr. Taylor has to say. Many can learn from him. Just like a mental health professional, maybe they shouldn't listen to him instead of seeking retaliatory measures. Sincerely, George E. Saldana. And this also, too, was subscribed in front of a notary public, Roberta Hera. Her commission ends in August of 2025, and her ID number is given as well. So, Mr. Taylor, what we do want to say is that several of us anyway, and I know that there are many other people that just couldn't get to it. I've had people contact me and said they wish they could have supported you as well with an affidavit. We support you wholeheartedly.